Hello YouTube, it's Trades here again. We're going to continue on with this old rifle series that I'm doing on the M1 Garand. And I hate to say it, but I've done it again. I'm doing just a simple video on field stripping the M1 Garand, and once I got started I couldn't do it in one simple video. So it's going to be three. The first part, video 1, we're going to take it completely apart. Video 2, we're going to do a close-up of all the internal parts inside of the rifle so you can see what they are and how they fit together and how they work. It'll just make it easier for you. And then in the third video we'll put the rifle back together as if we had cleaned it, and then later on we'll do a cleaning and lubrication video. So the first thing I did is, as I took the sling off, there's no need to because it goes with the wood and it would be out of the way, but just to make this easy I removed it. First thing we're going to do is, of course, make sure it's safe. So we're going to clear it. Open it up, make sure there's nothing in it, there's no clip, no ammunition, we're good. It's locked back so it's functioning. Put the safety on, and then we're going to close it up. And I've showed you how to do this. Take the pressure off the apparat, push the follower down out of the way, and let the bolt close up. Okay. Now if we were really out in the field, we'd pull our parts here out of the buttstock. That would give us our combi tool, which is handy for taking it apart. And the first thing we've got to do is get the trigger group out of the rifle, because that's what holds the stock on to the action. This is a early model trigger, so this part here is different than it would be on a later one. This is a milled trigger guard. The later ones are stamped. You can tell the difference by this hole in the back. And it's a neat little spot because you can use the tip of a bullet as a tool to pull backwards on it. And the trick is here, this little latch, you want to pull rearward and up at the same time and it'll unlatch. And I'll show you how you do it with a bullet. Click, just like that. Without, it would be like this. It just requires a little finger strength. Pull back. It's now unlatched. Lift up on the trigger guard and the whole trigger assembly will come out of the rifle. Okay, that was easy. Next we've got the stock. We've got to take the stock off of the action. So if you grab the forewood or forearm like this, take your hand and put it underneath the stock, and if it's stuck you can pop it a little bit, but the idea is you just want to lift it up off of the action and then you can pull the stock away. Okay, now we're down to just the action and the barrel. First thing we're going to do is we have the rod here that we're going to disconnect from the follower arm. Now we're working against spring pressure here, so we're pushing this direction. So we'll pull back on it, disconnect it, and lift up. And that's it. And we can pull the rod and the spring right out of the apparat. Next thing we're going to do is there's a pin right here, and your combi tool has got a little pin on it that'll work that, and if you don't have one you can use a bullet tip. Make sure we're in where you can see it. So you push that pin in, and when you do it'll protrude out the other side, and the pin's larger on one end than the other, so you won't be able to really get it in backwards. And you can use the rim of the cartridge to grab it and pull it out if you need to. So with the follower arm pin out, then you can pull the bullet guide out. And the bullet guide, of course, will have the follower arm in it. Take those parts out. Here's your op rod latch, and then right here is the follower. It'll lift out. Okay, next, I know it's a little hard to see, but right here in this track there's a notch cut out so that the op rod, when you get it right here, if you pull outward and downward on it at the same time, it'll derail or come out of that track. And when it does, it'll come off the bolt as well, and that's how you get the op rod out of the action. So here we go. I'll try and do it this way so you can see it. But when you get back here and you get it just in the right spot like that, see how it's disconnected? And then you're able to lift the op rod straight up like that and pull it out of the rifle. The bolts next. I know if you look in the manual they're going to do it a little bit different, and I'm doing this because in some ways it's easier, and two, you're able to see it. but you want to slide the bolt forward, let it drop down because it will naturally do that. And what you're doing is you're allowing it to drop all the way down and just fall out. So if you bring it forward, let it drop down and come slightly to you, it should just fall out. Okay, now we've got that all disassembled. Turn the rifle around. We're at the muzzle end. And now we're going to take the gas cylinder off. So with our tool, or you can use a large screwdriver, you want to unlock the plug. It's a right-hand thread, so we go counterclockwise. I'll do this with my left hand so you can see it. Unscrew the plug, counterclockwise till it comes out, and then you've got the lock. It'll unscrew the same direction, counterclockwise, wind it all the way off. And now you've got your gas cylinder. Now I've seen some of these, there's 3 grooves on these that lock them into place, and because you've got a hole right here in your barrel, that's your gas port, you get a lot of fouling in this area, and if someone hasn't cleaned their rifle in a long time, these can stick. They'll actually hang right onto the barrel. So if you're out in the field, you can use a block of wood like this. If you're at home, a leather or a plastic hammer works fine, and right here on the bayonet lug you can give it a little wrap and you'll push it past all that hard carbon. But what will happen is it'll just slide off the end of the barrel. And that way you'll be able to clean that because you've got it off, you've got your fore-end wood, it's off, and now you've got a disassembled field strip M1 Garand that you can thoroughly clean. By the way, here's the gas port in the bottom of the barrel. You can see it. So now it's stripped completely and ready to clean, and after it's cleaned and lubricated, then we can put it back together. And that's all done with either just a bullet tip or the combi tool that you've got in the buttstock. So I think that wraps up taking it apart. Now we'll go to part 2, where I'll take all of these small parts and show you what they look like up close, how they work with each other, and how they fit in the rifle. And then after that we'll put the rifle back together. So I'll see you in part 2.